What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Waifuju video, and today we are going over the top 10 third basemen in MLB The Show 22. This is the end game of the year, and the game cycle is coming to a close. We pretty much have every card we're going to be getting, and we're going to be going over the best cards that I think you could be putting at third base that came out during this year. There's going to be a couple stipulations. One, these are all my opinions. If you don't agree, I'm sorry, but these are how I feel about the cards and how I've used them, how I felt using them and all that. Number two, these are all going to be primary third basemen. So if you're going to be looking for cards that do not have third base as their primary position, they will not be on this list outside of maybe the honorable mentions. I think I'm going to leave honorable mentions during these videos as secondaries. That way we can get some of them in there so you know who I would use if were to use secondaries, but otherwise it's all going to be primaries. Let's get right into the video. The first honorable mention is going to be Jorge Polanco. He's probably best at second base, switch hitter. This is one of the best second basemen in the game. He'd be really good at third, especially if you really like your second baseman. Honorable mention. Another one's going to be Hank Aaron. This guy's amazing at pretty much every position he would be at, and he would be in the top 5 probably at all those positions as well. So here he is, honorable mention. Another one's Gary Sheffield. This is probably the only position I would play Gary, so he probably could have made the list, but again, not a primary. Honorable mention. He's insane. Another one is this Finest Taylor Ward. Another one kind of like Hank Aaron, where he's good at every position he's at. He'd probably be one of the top ones at every position. He's a beast. He's a dog. Maybe give him a shot. And the last honorable mention at third base is probably the best third baseman in the game realistically, but I'd rather use him at his other two positions. Jimmy Fox, he plays first, third, and catcher. He's a beast. Maxed out hitting. He's amazing. The 10th best primary third baseman in the game is going to be 99 Jim Thome. He was a player of the month flashback from August. He is maxed out versus righties, and he has 104, 110 versus lefties, or relatively having P1. His vision is really bad, but he's maxed out versus righties. It's a righty pitching meta. His swing is amazing. Having a left-handed bat at third is amazing, and I really like Jim. He's definitely not a top option, but if you want a third base bat and it's free, there you go. Number 9 is going to be this 99 overall Nolan Arenado. Nolan Arenado has very similar stats to another card you're going to see later in the list, but his swing is nowhere near as good. He's not as fast, and I've never felt any type of way about Nolan. He has live quirks, which is amazing. If you like Nolan cards, this is probably one of the best we've ever had, the most well-rounded we've ever had, truly, but I've never been a big fan. He is really good, though. Just not my cup of tea. Coming in at number 8, we have a card that's actually been out for a while. It's this 99 overall player of the month from July, Austin Riley. When this card came out, it was just like, whoa. He was also one of the first, 99s in the game because they were just starting to spill in when he came out. And this card is still really, really good. The main flaw is going to be the 89 vision. Outside of that, he has pretty decent speed. He's a great fielder. He hits well on both sides, and he has plenty of contact versus righties in a righty meta, and his swing is fantastic. He also plays third, first, and left if you want to use him there for whatever reason. Austin Riley's a dog. The all-time Braves team has a logjam at third, but thankfully he has secondaries. I think he's really good. Austin Riley, number 8. Coming in at number 7, we have this 99 retro finest Josh Donaldson. When this card came out, I remember my jaw hit the ground. I was like, there's no shot Josh Donaldson is getting a card this good, but he did, and this card is still a beast. He plays above his attributes, believe it or not. He's over 100 on everything. He gets over 110 once you parallel him once. He's so solid, and his swing is really, really good as well. Not having secondaries really hurt him, so you didn't see him a lot. That's when another third baseman on this list was getting used a lot in the game, but he's really solid. Josh is a beast. He is one of the harder cards to get, though, because he is through the extreme program. So if you got an extreme done and you want to have a fun, quirky card to use at third base, Josh Donaldson's a really good one. Coming in at number 6, we have Chipper Jones. It's weird to see Chipper this low on a list, but that's just kind of the way it worked out this year. Chipper, one of the best every single year, one of the best third basemen ever, switch hitter. His swing is elite. A lot of people use him on his swing on caps. He has 112, 125, 105, 114 when he's P3 like mine is right here. He gets over 100 vision, which is nice as well. And his swing, he's going to be so good offensively. He just doesn't quite stack up to some of the cards that do have live quirks, or maybe even a better swing that we've seen throughout the year. He is really good, though. His biggest issue is his defense. I know he has 78 defense. He plays way worse than that. This is probably the worst, quote-unquote, good defender in the game. I hate him at third, and If you've ever used him at shortstop, you know how bad of a defender he is. It's not fun to watch, but his offense really makes up for it. He is a dog. He's just really expensive right now, which is partially why he's lower on this list. He's really good, though. And if you have him, maybe throw him in there. Switch shader team? Maybe. Now we are entering our top 5 of this list. Number 5 is going to be 99 Eddie Matthews. This might be the most biased pick of the entire group, and I don't particularly care. I think this Eddie Matthews, and I think every Eddie Matthews, including the Silver BR one we pretty much get the same all-star one every year. That's about a 91, 92 overall. I think they always play so well, and Eddie finally got the respect he deserved by not getting the SIG Series 99 that they've given him for 4 straight years. Give him a retro finest. He has maxed out power versus both sides. He has 116 vision at P3. And I promise you, this card hits lefties just fine. Right-handed pitching meta for starters. He is going to be really good over there at third base. I love him. He's actually my starting third baseman on my God squad. I do have him a little bit lower on this list at number 5 because I know some people like some of the other cards better. But this would probably be my number 1. I really like him, though. I'm going to keep him at 5. Keep the bias aside. Eddie Matthews is a dog, and if you haven't tried him or ever have, please give him a chance. At number 4 on this list, we have finest Manny Machado. I love Manny cards. Again, I mentioned it when I mentioned Nolan Arenado. He has very similar stats to Nolan Arenado, although he has better power. He's a much better swing than Nolan Arenado. He's faster than Nolan, and he has better active quirks. I love Manny cards, and if you've ever used one and you really like his swing, this one is maybe the best we've ever had outside of the, I think it was a finest card from 2020. That card was really good. This one might be better. He also plays first and shortstop. He's not even a bad option at shortstop, truthfully. The only issue is the speed over there, but this bat is one of the best bats in the game. I love Manny. You should try him out. Number 3 on this list is Old Reliable. When this card came out, people were so mad. Pitchforks in hand, torches. There was a mob. They saw it, and they're like, why do we want George Brett as a collection reward? And then the stats dropped, and everybody was left speechless. This is realistically probably the best card we got this year, and when I say that, I mean he was one of the first 99s that was usable in the field. He was fantastic as a lefty bat, and he was in lineups for the better part of 6 months, and people are starting to weed out George Brett now because we've used him all year. But George is something different. I mean, 14,000 people have him P5. If that means anything to how good he is, even as a collection card with the barrier, still 14,000 people got him parallel 5. He was insane. He gets to be maxed out contact versus both sides with maxed out vision, over 100 power versus both, and his swing usually doesn't get to play the way it feels like it did this year because his stats are too low, but his swing is so good that it feels like he's maxed out across the board. I promise you, if you have George Brett and you don't have him P5, bring him back, get him P5. It'll feel good. He's a dog. And we might never get a George Brett like this again. So use him while you can, okay? The second best third baseman in this game, again, these are all primary positions. If you forgot, I will keep reminding you. It's going to be this 99 overall retro finest Miguel Cabrera. Miguel Cabrera has had an unbelievable career. He actually just recently said that 2023 is going to be his last season. So you have this card and then one more game cycle of good Miguel Cabrera cards until he is no longer in our game. Take advantage of it. This one has maxed out attributes: 125, 125, 125, 125, and then 106 vision. The only issue I've ever had with Miguel Cabrera cards is I don't fully love his swing. They're not my favorite. They're not bad. They're somewhere in the middle. He's going to get over 80 fielding at P1. You're probably going to want to use him at third base, but first base isn't even a bad spot for him. That's actually perfect. I would probably try him out whenever I do get him. I still don't have him, actually. He's in the Ghost of Ghouls program, and I have yet to be bothered to go grind that. I probably should. He's amazing. The only real flaw is that he has 41 speed. That's it. This is the second best third baseman in the game. I mean, look at him. Just look at him. And finally, this is clearly where a little bit of bias is showing through, but I promise you, if you have ever used the third baseman known as Jose Ramirez from the Cleveland Guardians, wow, he is just something special at the dish. 121, 102, 120, 107 with 125 vision at P2, like I have him. He has 88 fielding, which is really good because that means he can play third, second, short, and left field all very well. He's probably one of the top 5 or so options at all of those positions. He also has 87 speed at P2, so he's going to get actually up to 90 speed at P5, which is unreal for a Jose. Usually his stealing is higher, but this time they put the speed up. That is a big deal. Obviously, speed is great in this game, and if he's not going to hit it out, you're going to get a double or a triple with him. But something about Jose's swing, he has one of the best launch angles off the bat. If you guys used this live series card earlier in this year, and then his home run derby card that came out, you know just the type of home runs you hit with this card are kind of stupid. Whether you touch it or not, it gets the best possible launch angles. I can't explain enough how this game's coding makes Jose way better than any of the numbers you're going to see on the screen. But with 121, 120, and 125 all versus righties, he is going to mash the meta. And again, right-handed meta with all the starting pitchers outside of Randy Johnson. He is going to be really good. And then switch hitting, even when there is a lefty. Live quirks as well, so his PCI is even bigger than the 121 would suggest. He's so good. Jose is so good. I think he's the best third baseman in the game. I don't think it's even close either, which is hilarious because I don't even put him there. I started him at second base on my squad, but he absolutely needs to get a start if you haven't tried him already. He's part of the program going on right now, so he is really cheap. He's only like 25k buy now, 16 sell now, so he's really cheap. If you didn't earn him for free, go get him, give him a shot. If you haven't played the game in a couple months, you can go buy him for really cheap, and he's still amazing. I did that on my ult, and he had 4 home runs the other day. It was a lot of fun. Give him a shot. Jose's the best third baseman in the game. And that's going to wrap it up today, guys. Those are the 10 best third basemen, plus some honorable mentions that I think are in this game. Again, primary positions. The honorables are probably somewhere in the top 5 realistically, but they're not primaries, so keep an eye on that. But that's about 15 third basemen that you can choose from in MLB The Show 22. It's about to be December, or it might be by the time you're watching this. I'm not sure. If it is, I hope you guys have a great holidays. Enjoy the rest of this game cycle as we look forward to MLB 22. If you like the content, make sure you like and subscribe down below, and check me out over on Twitch. We have more of these top 10 videos coming out soon, and I can't wait to see you there. Have a good one, everybody.